Let's talk about the acquisition of long-term assets. There are two types of long-term assets: tangible assets and intangible assets. Tangible assets are assets with physical property, so you can touch them, such as land, building, machinery and equipment, furniture and fixture, and land improvements. Intangible assets are non-physical assets, so you can't really touch them. Some examples include patents, copyrights, trademarks, and goodwill. So let's think about the acquisition of long-term assets. By acquisition, we mean we need to buy these assets, and there are two ways. The first way is we can think about purchasing long-term assets from a third party. So for tangible assets, typically we can think about buying property, plant, and equipment. So we'll debit PP&E, and usually we'll credit cash because cash will go down. For intangible asset, we'll debit the intangible asset itself. So it could be debiting of a patent, for example. And then we can credit cash as well if we paid it out in cash. The other methodology is to construct a long-term asset. So for a tangible asset, if you were to make it yourself, you'll still debit property, plant, and equipment and credit cash if we used cash. However, for an intangible asset, if it's developed within the firm, then it will be expensed. So for example, the costs that's associated with making your own patent will be expensed and put on the income statement rather than capitalized and put on the balance sheet. The reason is that when we engage in these expenditures, the benefit will become too uncertain. We don't really know whether the patent that we make will actually be generating a lot of value for us. And when there's too much uncertainty, the accounting rules dictated by the US GAAP says let's put it in an expense rather than capitalize it and put it on the balance sheet. So now you know all about the acquisition of long-term assets.